Hello, the internet. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Adventures of Dr. Dropkick. I am your titular host, Dr. Dropkick, and today we're doing something a little bit different. Welcome to Fabled Lands. Now, what is Fabled Lands, you might ask? Great question, fabulous question. Also, you look really nice today, by the way. I am a huge fan of game books. Game books became wildly popular in the 80s and the early 90s, and a game book is essentially a choose-your-own-adventure story, like choose-your-own-adventure book, but plus. Often with game books, it mixes the choose-your-own-adventure style play with stats and dice rolls and combat and monsters to battle and also spells to cast or vehicles to drive. If you're familiar with things like fighting fantasy or sorcery, Steve Jackson's sorcery, or White Wolf, those are game books. But there's one that I find not a lot of people talk about. It kind of flew under the radar, which is a shame, and that was Fabled Lands. I should say that is Fabled Lands because this is a series still having game books produced today. Fabled Lands is an open world game book. So what that means is, if you have 5 fighting fantasy books in your collection, you have 5 unique stories, and they have many different endings and many different ways to play through them. But at the end of the day, it's a closed circuit. Fabled Lands was always designed to be open world. So each book adds a new part into the existing world that your existing character can go and explore and play and learn and challenge the quests there. Do you want to become a merchant lord? Go for it. An adventurer? Absolutely go for it. Do you want to go on a quest to become the most powerful mage in the land? Whatever you want to do, the books are designed to be there. And they're still making them today. I believe there's 14 of them now. But it really is something like, I want to now go to the city of Grunsburg. Grunsburg. Okay, I need to go and grab book 7 off my shelf, open to page 32, and now I'm in that part of the world, right? I didn't realize that there was a digital version that was being produced. It looks like they've got maybe 4 books on. I just kind of grabbed them all on sale. So we're going to kind of dive on in. And we're going to play this. So what this is a relatively faithful adaptation of how the game system works. So we're going to create a character. We're going to go exploring around. This could run a very short series. Or this could be very long, depending on what we want to do. It could end extremely abruptly, because even a high-level character can be killed by a string of bad rolls against some brigands. Or it could go until we say, you know what, I feel like we've really completed this character's story. What makes this different is that this game is mostly text. There are going to be some things to look at. There's a map, and you'll see the text on the screen, and there's stat screens and all that. But at the end of the day, most of this is going to be me reading to you. So I think what we should do is just dive right on in, and you're going to see exactly what I mean. But you know what? I've got my hydration here. I recommend grab yourself a cup of tea, butter up a muffin on a nice Sunday morning, my friends, and let's dive in to Fabled Lands. We're going to start the game as a warrior. I always like playing warriors in games. I'm a big sword and sorcery fan, so the warriors is always kind of drawn to me. So I think this is a great place for us to start. Here's our warrior. As you can see, we have 6 stats: charisma, combat, magic, sanctity, scouting, and thievery. All the 6 classes in Fabled Lands use a combination of those stats, and we don't get to rearrange them. They are hard locked in. There's the warrior, the mage, the priest, the rogue, the wayfarer, the troubadour, and then back to the warrior. But as you can see, they all use variations of these different stats. You seek fame through adventure and glory of battle. You left your homeland when an extended outbreak of peace made your skills redundant there. You are blunt and outspoken, but scrupulously follow the warrior's code. You know the Merchants Guild in Yellowport needs assistance. This is going to be our guy. Let's give him a name. We're going to name him Torgrim. Torgrim was always the name I gave my warriors when I would play a fighting fantasy or a White Wolf. We were always Torgrim. And let's set up. He's kind of a barbarian guy. So we're going to give him this like cool wedgy beard with the bald noggin. And being a barbarian, he has to be covered in furs and teeth. There's no other way. What's this? Oh, this is like scars. Oh, we could give him a cool eye patch. Yeah. And we'll start with the skill Tactical Assessment and Stunning Blow. And we'll deal with all that when we get there. Don't worry. We're going to play on Adventurer difficulty. That's difficulty 2 of the 4. Again, I'm going to say this a lot. This is based on a series that started in the 90s. It is brutally difficult and brutally unforgiving if you are not prepared. If you decide to go waltzing into a den of thieves without really planning it, you are going to get wasted. So we're going to play on Adventurer difficulty. It's the sort of medium difficulty. And without further ado, my friends, let us go into the Fabled Lands. The approach of dawn has turned the sky a milky gray-green, like jade. The sea is a luminous pane of silver. Holding the tiller of your sailing boat, you keep your gaze fixed on the glittering constellation known as the Spider. It marks the north, and by keeping it to port, you know you are still on course. The sun appears in a trembling burst of red fire at the rim of the world. Slowly, the chill of night gives way to brazen warmth. You lick your parched lips. There is little water sloshing in the bottom of the barrel by your feet, but not enough to see you through another day. Sealed in a scroll case tucked into your jerkin is the parchment map your grandfather gave you on his deathbed. You remember his stirring tales of far sea voyages, of kingdoms beyond the western horizon, of sorcerous islands and ruined palaces filled with treasure. As a child, you dreamed of nothing else but the magical quests that were in store if you, too, became an adventurer. You never expected to die in an open boat before your adventures even began. Securing the tiller, you unroll the map and study it again. You hardly need to. Every detail is etched into your memory. According to your reckoning, you should have reached the east coast of Harkuna, the great northern continent, days ago. A pasty gray blob splatters on the map. After a moment of stunned surprise, you look up and curse the seagull circling directly overhead. Then it strikes you. Where there's a seagull, there may be land. You leap to your feet and scan the horizon. Sure enough, a line of white cliffs lie a league to the north. Have you been sailing along the coast all this time, without realizing the mainland was so close? Steering towards the cliffs, you feel the boat judder against rough waves. A howling wind whips plumes of spindrift across the sea. Breakers pound the high cliffs. The tiller is yanked out of your hands. The little boat is spun around out of control and goes plunging in towards the coast. You leap clear at the last second. There is the snap of timber, the roaring crescendo of the waves, and then silence. Striking out wildly, you try to swim clear of the razor-sharp rocks. For a while, the undertow threatens to drag you down. Then suddenly, a wave catches you and flings you contemptuously up onto the beach. Battered and bedraggled, you lie gasping for breath, until you hear someone walking along the shore towards you. Wary of danger, you lose no time in getting to your feet. Confronting you is an old man clad in a dirty loincloth. His eyes have a feverish bright look that is suggestive of either a mystic or a madman. "Well, well, well, what have we here, friends?" asks the old man. He seems to be talking to someone next to him, although you are certain he is alone. "Looks like a washed-up adventurer to me," he says in answer to his own question. "All wet and out of luck." He carries on having a conversation that quickly turns into a heated debate. He is clearly quite mad. "Excuse me," you shout above the hubbub in an attempt to grab the old man's attention. He stops and stares at you. "Is this the Isle of the Druids?" you ask impatiently. "Indeed it is," says the old man. "I see that you are from a land far away, so it is up to me to welcome you to Harkuna. But I think you may have much to do here, as it is written in the stars that someone like you would come. Your destiny awaits you. Follow me, young adventurer." The old man smartly turns around and begins walking up a path towards some hills. You can just see some sort of monolithic stone structure atop one of them. So we have our first branching path. The Isle of the Druids is sort of set up as like the starting hub, and then the idea is that you can do all sorts of different things to really start your game. So every game starts here, but you might go A or B or C to kind of create a new start for your character. We have three options. We could follow him, scour the remnants washed ashore, or explore the island on our own. First things first, let's scour the remnants. No matter what we're going to do, we want to make sure that we grab everything. You find a small vial holding a reddish concoction. You bless your good fortune when you recognize it is a healing potion. Yeah, that's going in the inventory. Alright, let's follow the old man. Why not? During your short trip upward, the old man regales you with tales of your destiny and fate, continuously arguing with himself as he does so. Alright, so here we are. This is the Isle of the Druids. It's not much to see. Pretty jungly, if you have to ask me. It looks kind of jungly. Can we see the world map? Here we are. So here is the world map. As you can see, there is a lot. It is a very, very large world map. There we go. Alright, so let's head to the Obsidian Stones. You reach a hill covered with a circle of large obsidian standing stones. Despite the bitter wind that blows across these hills, the stones are unweathered and seem almost newly laid. "Here are the gates of the world," says the mad old man. The stones are laid in such a way that they form 3 archways, each carven with mystic symbols and runes of power. "Each gate will take you to a part of the world of Harkuna, though I know not where," explains the old man. Suddenly, he passes his hands over you, mumbling a prayer to the gods. You receive a special blessing. This allows you to re-roll any failed roll once. After making a second attempt at the roll, whether successful or not, the blessing is used up. Abruptly, he turns around and sets off down the hill, babbling to himself. His voice fades as he descends the hill, leaving you alone with the brooding stones and the howling wind. There are 3 stones engraved with the ancient runes. Each gate is marked with a name: Yellowport, Marlock City, and Wishport. From here, you can see the coast and the whole island, which is heavily forested. So we could again go back and explore the island, or we could step into one of the archways. I think we're going to do that. We're going to step into an archway here. So we'll remember from our tiny little blurb, right when we were setting up Torgrim here, that Yellowport, the guild there, has need of adventurers. So I think that's a serious place to start. That makes sense to us. So let's go. We're going to step through the portal, or through the Yellowport Arch. You step through the archway. Immediately, the symbols on the stone begin to glow with red-hot energy. Your hair stands on end and your body tingles. A crackling nimbus of blue-white force engulfs you. The sky darkens, and thunder and lightning crash and leap across the heavens. Suddenly, your vision fades, and everything goes black. When your sight returns, you find yourself at the gates of a large city, set on an ochre-covered river. A vile stink of brimstones permeate the air. You wrinkle your face up in disgust and gag involuntarily. "Welcome to Yellowport," says a passing merchant. I'm just going to take a very quick break here and just check my audio levels to make sure I kind of have this dialed in with the music and everything. I will be back in just a moment. All right, everybody, we're back. Oh, hang on. Let me put this game audio back up for you. There we go. Hey, everybody, we're back. First recording session, you can do a couple tests to make sure that the audio are working, but you never really know until you get into it. Yellowport is the second largest city in Socara. It is mainly a trading town, and is known for its exotic goods from distant Ankon Konu, way to the south. The Stinking River brings rich deposits of sulfur from the Lake of the Sea Dragon down to the town, where it is extracted and stored in the large waterfront warehouses run by the Merchants Guild. From here, the mineral is exported all over Harkuna. Unfortunately, all that sulfur has its drawbacks. The stink is abominable, and much of the city has a yellowish hue. The river is so full of sulfur that it is virtually useless as a source of food or drinking water. However, the demand for sulfur, especially from the sorceress guilds, is great. Politically, much has changed in the past few years. The old and corrupt king of Socara, Corin VII, has been deposed and executed in a military coup. General Grieve Marlock and the army now control Socara. The old council of Yellowport has been indefinitely dissolved, and a provost marshal, Marlos Morlock, the general's brother, appointed as military governor of the town. To leave Yellowport by sea, buy or sell ships and cargo, go to the harbor master. So this is the map of Yellowport. Let's have a quick look around us. So here we are. This is Socara. This is the sort of country that we are in. Yellowport being a fairly major city. It looks like there's another couple cities kind of over here, but we can't really see too much. We have a few places that we have to go, or we can go and check out, but we're going to stay here in Yellowport. Adventurer sheet, so this is us. Looks like we have ourselves an axe, the healing potion we found, our ring mail, and we're carrying 216 shards, which is money. It's gold, for lack of a better term. We have no quests. Okay. And there's a whole bunch of stuff over here that we don't really need to know about. So let's dive right in. First thing you do when you go to a town, you go to the tavern. Off we go. The Gold Dust Tavern is a plush inn besides the city gates. The tavern costs you 1 shard a day. Each day you spend here, you can recover 1 stamina point if injured, up to the limit of your normal unwounded stamina. So our stamina is your hit points. So right now we have 12 hit points. If that ever reaches 0, it's game over, my friends. Let's spend some of our $216. Let's buy drinks all around the bar and listen for rumors. That's why you go to taverns. All great adventures start in a tavern. You fall into conversation with Pyledes, a kindly old scholar priest of Molern, the god of knowledge. Many years ago, the Book of the Seven Sages was stolen from us, he croaks. News suggests that the Scorpion men are in possession of it. I need a young adventurer like yourself to travel to Scorpion Blight and return the book to me. In return, I can show you how to improve the skill of your choice. I would love to go to a place called Scorpion Blight and fight Scorpion men. Great. You know what? We'll take the quest. Why not? It can sit in our quest log for a bit. Pyledes' eyes light up with hope as you agree to his request. Bless you, young adventurer, he exclaims with a relieved smile. Return to me with the artifact, and I shall impart to you the knowledge that will aid your journey. You nod in understanding. Taking your leave as the weight of this new quest settles upon your shoulders. So we can now check our quest log. Here it is. It's listed as a hard quest. Yeah, we're not doing that anytime soon. As I said earlier, this game is unforgiving. And if you just go traipsing into Scorpion Blight to fight amongst the Scorpion men without any kind of forethought or planning, they will kick your ass, and you will lose. So, especially because it's telling us that's a hard quest, we're going to come back to that later. What do we got here? Explore the Provost Marshal, Temple, Trade Guild, Market, House Stash. This is us. This is our little stash here. We have a nice little house. We don't have a house yet. We could buy one for 200 gold, but no. Let's check the market. So this is what they have for sale here. So we already have an axe, which is what, 1 to 3 damage points. It's 1 to 6, 3 to 5 for the mace. Expensive, though. Ammo. Okay, do you have a shield? Do you sell shields? No, you don't. You have leather armor. We have ring mail on, so I'm not going to spend all 200 to get 1 extra defense. Ooh, rope. Yeah, we're probably going to need to buy that, but we'll come back to these. We'll take a look around the city some more. Lockpicks, can't use that. Don't really need any of this. Treasure maps. Ooh. And rat poison. Okay, cool. Let's go talk to trade guild as if we're not traders. We don't really have anything to do with that. Temple. I mean, let's go. Let's check the explore button. Let's do it. You walk around the smelly You walk around the smelly streets of the sulphurous city. The market is large and busy. At the corner of Brimstone Plaza, gigantic braziers burn sweet-smelling incense in an attempt to overpower the rotten egg smell that permeates the whole city. There are many stalls and goods for you to choose from. Your adventuring instincts push you to explore some of the back streets. I am not going into the city by night. That's how you get knifed in an alleyway. But we'll explore by day. Do we want to explore the poor quarter, the harbor? Let's go check out the harbor. While taking a stroll through the busy harbor area, you overhear a conversation between 2 merchants and learn the most profitable trading routes between Sokara and Golnir. You're positive that this new information will come in handy if you make a small investment in the Merchants Guild. Ooh, sure. The Merchants Guild of Yellowport is a large building of granite, plushly decorated inside to show off its wealth. Here you can bank your money for safekeeping, or invest it in guild enterprises in the hopes of making a profit. You hear that the guildmaster is looking for adventurers. So, like with this, it is a bank, right? You put money in it. You can also invest your money. That money is gone out of your inventory, and it doesn't kind of auto-load into your inventory. You would have to come back to Yellowport, withdraw the money. It's a stock market, right? Let's make an investment. Why not? You can invest money in multiples of 100 shards. Woo, that's a little too much for us right now. So no, we're good. Let's visit the Guildmaster. Guildmaster Vernon of Yellowport is surprisingly eager to see you. He is a hugely fat and bejeweled merchant, and he tells you that a group of ratmen have made a base in the sewers beneath the city. They come out at night and raid the warehouses and homes of the merchants of Yellowport. "We need an adventurer like yourself to destroy their king," explains the Guildmaster. "Without him, the ratmen wouldn't be able to recognize the feast in the larder. We will pay you 450 gold shards if you succeed." Alright, sure, yeah, we'll take up the task. Vernon tells you that the sewers can be entered via an old, disused well in the poor quarter. When you're ready to enter the sewers, they will be accessible when you explore the sewer. Okay. So, again, let's check our quests here. Medium, rat problems. Again, we may not be ready for a medium quest. We'll see what else we can find. But man, 450 shards is good. And there was that rat poison in the market. How does this work? For 1 fight only. Against ratmen. I don't know if we want to do that yet. Let's talk to... That was the trade guild. Alternately, we can leave the city and go exploring. You know what? Let's go fight some ratmen. Let's do it. Okay. So what are we going to need? What do we want? Well, we're definitely going to buy a rat poison. We're going into the sewers. We're going to want a lantern. We're going to take rope, and now we are out of money. That's it. We are just fully broke. All right, this could be the end of us here. Wait, what's this little icon here? Powerful adversary. I don't know. I don't think we're going to do this yet. Is there anywhere? Let's do a little bit more exploring the city by day. Let's go to the area around the palace. A patrol of militiamen, mercenaries in the pay of the dictator, General Grieve Marlock, stop you in the streets. They decide that you will be arrested unless you pay 15 shards of tax. I don't have 15 shards. Refusing to pay your taxes, eh? Says their leader. That's a crime for sure. They close in around you. You'll have to think fast. I can make a charisma roll. So the way that this works, my charisma is 4, right? If you look at old Torgrim here, charisma is 4. So he's not very good at charisma. And we're going to roll 2d6 and add our result to it. Our goal is, I believe, to beat, if I remember correctly, the number. Not tie, beat. So our odds of success, 41%. Here we go. Ooh! Ooh, critical failure. A double 1. Ah. Alright. Let's use our blessing. Let's just use that blessing that the old man gave us. Come on, baby, please. Oh, there we go. We rolled an 8 plus 4 is 12. Successful charisma roll. You spin them a tale about how your poor brother, a mercenary in Grieve Marlock's personal guard, lost his legs in the fight to overthrow the old king, and that you've spent all your money on looking after him. Several of the militia are brought to tears by your eloquent speech. They end up having a whip around amongst themselves, your brother, and they give you 15 shards. Chuckling to yourself, you return to the city center. Ooh, that was close. That was close. We did not want to get thrown into prison. Alright, that's it. Let's go into the sewers. You climb down an old disused well in the poor quarter of Yellowport. It is dank, dark, and smelly down below. Such as a land... If you do not have a light source, you'll have to return to the city. We do. Let's follow the tunnel into the darkness. The dank tunnels, running with rivulets of foul water, take you deeper into the unknown. You mark the twisting passages with chalk so that you can find your way back. Shortly, you come out into a large, rough-hewn cavern, wreathed into shadows that dance and flicker in the light you have brought. A sound makes you start in surprise. Make a thievery roll. Oh boy, thievery is our worst stat. We only have a thievery of 3, and the target here is 11. Here we go. Oh, we rolled a 9. That gives us a total of 12. Well done, Torgrim. The sound was the click of a secret door sliding open in the wall of the cavern. With a swift motion, you step up beside it, back to the wall. A figure emerges, but you're able to ambush the ambusher. A deft blow to the back of the head sends the dark figure crashing to the ground. Another steps forth, however, shouting in a guttural voice. You recognize that these figures are ratmen, man-like creatures that stand on 2 legs, but which have the tail and hairy features of a gigantic rat. You must fight them. Oh, we're loading. Alright, I've never seen any of this. Usually fights are just dice rolls in the books, right? Combat plays out in rounds, with each combatant taking their own turn. Everything you do costs action points. So these are our 2 horrible rat creatures, a warrior and a shaman. The order of portraits at the top determines what order. Yeah, okay, classic, okay. Left click on the ground text to move. Once an enemy is in range, indicated in red, left click on it to attack. Okay. End your turn, okay. So I can spend 3 action points to get over to here. Let's rush this shaman. I don't like magic. So it's going to cost me all 6 action points to get over there, but like, what are we going to do? Haha! Alright, that's my turn. Shaman's moved up. You can also use special actions from the action bar. Click on a skill to start casting. If it's not instantly casted, okay, so we have what? Attack, defend, disengage. Movement does not, okay. Use item. Tactical assessment. Okay, we can get +1 damage. How many action points? That takes 3. Stunning blow is a rush attack. And how much is it? Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to tactically assess our opponents here. Okay, and then we're going to hit this rat creature. He's got 6 hit points. Bam, hit him for 4. Beautiful work, Torgrim. He swings back for 1, and the other ratman has now reached combat. So we're going to spend 3 action points, and we're going to try to put this shaman out of the... Yep, he's gone. Alright, that's good. And we are going to, I guess, just hit him, man. Alright. Other Ratman's now at 4 hit points. He takes a swing and misses. Finished him off. Look at that. Victory, my friends. Do we get loot? Do we get money? You gain 15 shards. Hell yeah. The Ratmen lie defeated at your feet. You find 15 shards in the bodies and a note which says, "Party, kitchens, tonight. Rank and file rats only. No officers, no king allowed." The rest of the cavern is bare, so you press on down the tunnels ahead. So party in the kitchens. Rank and file rats only. No officers, no king. Okay. After a while, you come to a cleaner area of the sewers. Part of the old city is now buried under Yellowport. It dates from the period when all of Harkuna was rolled by the masked ones of Utaku, before the people overthrew them. You come to 2 rotten doors. Names have been scratched onto them by some half-literate ratmen. One says throne room, the other says kitchens. You can hear gravelly rat voices from behind both doors. So the note that we have says that there's going to be a party in the kitchens. No officers, no king. So I expect if we go into the kitchens, it's going to be filled with soldiers, rat soldiers, and that the throne room will not be filled with rat soldiers. So we're going to enter the throne room. Gingerly you open the door. It leads to a curtained alcove, through which you observe the room beyond. It is a long, low hall, clearly an ancient Utakan temple, from the time when the Mask Lords of Utaku ruled all of Harkuna, but now part of the sewers of Yellowport. A cheap wooden chair has been placed on the altar to act as a throne. On it sits a large and extremely ugly ratman. He has a tacky amulet around his neck, and a rusty iron hoop for a crown. About 4 ratmen are kneeling before him, engaged in conversation. "But Scab," one of the ratmans is saying. "That's great King Scab to you, Dawn Breath," bellows the rat on the throne. So we have options. We can bluff our way in, use sorcery, sneak in, or charge into the attack. Let's all be honest. Torgrim here, he's not very good at, well, anything except sword, face. Sword to face. His tactics involve putting the pointy thing and the squishy things that scream and bleed. So I think that's what we're going to do. There's going to be the king and 4 ratmen. Ooh, in we go. With a martial cry, you draw your weapon and charge. You manage to cut down 2 of the ratmen before they can react. The remaining 2 officers draw their swords. King Scab gives a cry of anger and leaps at you in desperation, swinging a spiked mace in his hand. So it's going to be 3 of them then. That's good. We've already knocked 2 of the opponents out with our charge. There they are. Ew, look at this guy. Oh, he is actually like a rat king. Oh, that's cool. Okay, yeah. Rat kings are weird and cool, and we're going to pop our rat poison now. Glug, glug, glug. 3 men in it. Alright, so this is rubble. Cost 3 action points to cross. So we can like try to hot gates them a little bit here. I think if we go to there. Here he comes. Next up, I'm going to use my tactical assessment. And again, that's going to end my turn. I have 3 action points. Let's defend. Why not? Here he comes. Alright. Big boss boy's here. 100% hit chance for 3 action points. Should we stun him? No, we don't need that yet. What else is here? I haven't even looked. A warrior and a shaman. I'm worried about if the shaman has a healing. But let's just hit him. Oh, that was a hit for 6 damage. Well done. We're going to hit the king again. 4 damage. I can live with that. We'll end the turn. He swings back for 3 damage on me. Ouch. Now they've kind of got me surrounded. This other warrior is here. Let's hit the king again. King is dead. Beautiful work after a hit for 6. I do not have the ability to stunning blow. I don't have the action points, but I am going to hit this rat here. The rat warrior for 5. So that leaves the rat warrior with 3 hit points and the ratman shaman with 6. Warrior takes a swing but missed. He rolled a 5. He needed a 6. And the shaman has stepped in. Let's finish off this warrior. Good hits, good hits. That is a dead warrior. And the shaman with 6 hit points. Ah, so close. He's down to 1. We hit him for 5. What do you got, buddy? Oh, he hits me for 2. I only have 6 hit points left. I should deal with this. Like that. That is a gone Ratman shaman. Well done, Torgrim. Whew. Good thing we had that rat poison, right? King Scab's rusty iron crown shattered when he fell, so you take the copper amulet from around his neck. Copper amulet. The only thing cheaper than is the life of a Ratman. Wow. Okay. You also find a chest in the corner of the room, but it is clearly booby-trapped. Oh, I only have 6 hit points. Try to open it with our thief skills? We're at half health. Let's do it. Oh, target's only 9. Okay, we have a 3. So as long as we roll a 6 or higher, we'll be okay. And we rolled a 6, so we equaled. So it actually was unsuccessful. We had to roll higher, not equal to. Your amateurish tinkering sets off the trap and the chest explodes. You take the full force of the blast. You lose 5 stamina. Ooh, I'm at 1 hit point. You also find that the contents of the chests have been vaporized, except for a sturdy metal scroll case containing a piece of ancient religious text about the gods of Utaku. You discover from the scroll that one of the gods of the Udakin is called Ebron, and that he has 14 angles. You can take the scroll of Ebron if you wish. Sure. Yeah, why not? Back to town. Oh, my whole body hurts. We can turn this in, but we're going to spend a bit of time at the tavern instead, because good lord, it's going to spend us 11 shards, but we will rest until fully healed. I think that's the way to do it. There we go. Alright, let's go talk to our trade guild. Visit the guildmaster. Guildmaster Vernon is pleased to see you. You hand him the copper amulet, and he exclaims joyfully, "The amulet of King Scab! Well done indeed!" We're given 450 shards as a reward. Hot damn. Okay. Well, let's invest. Let's make an investment here. We're going to invest just 100 shards. And we're just going to let that sit. We still have $300. Let's buy a better weapon. Literally, our job here is hitting things with sticks. What's a good stick? We could buy a great axe. What does that do for damage? 2 to 4 damage. And what do we do right now? What does our base weapon do here? No, I don't want to buy a spear. Get out of here. So 1 to 3 is what we do right now. The great axe does 2 to 4. A great sword does 2 to 7. For the same price. Why would you... Oh, it costs an extra action point. Well, we have 6 action points. Great axe costs 3 to use. The great sword uses 4. So we'd only be able to do 1 hit with the great sword. So I think what we'll do, we're going to buy the great axe. For 250 shards. That will leave us with 122. Ooh, he wants to buy some very fancy shit. Okay, hang on. Let's put that on. Equip the great axe. There we go. And then we're going to hold on to this axe just in case. Just in case something goes sideways with it. Do you have anything else that we can buy, my friend, that might be good for us? Armor-wise? Just that chainmail, and it's not worth it. We also can't afford it. Classic problem to have. Yeah, we kind of can't afford anything else. We only have 100 shards, 122, so we'll leave it for now. We definitely don't want to visit the Provost Marshal. Like, we're not... I don't really want to deal with a military junta, you know? Let's go to the temple. We haven't done that yet. You are standing in the middle of the Plaza of the Gods, where all the temples stand in Yellowport. So there's 4 that we can visit. Maka, Elnir, Alvir and Valmir, and Tirnai. Let's start with Maka. The Temple of Maka, the terrible goddess of disease and famine, is a large underground chamber accessible via an ornate entrance in the middle of the Plaza of the Gods, where all the temples stand in Yellowport. Down below, the walls are bare earth. The ceiling is covered in roots of growing plants, for Maka is also the goddess of the harvest, who must be kept happy, else disease and famine will strike the people, their crops, and their livestock, bringing ruin to all. I don't really think we want to become an initiate or anything of the goddess of disease and famine. That seems unpleasant. Elnir. The Temple of Elnir is an imposing edifice of grey stone inlaid with yellow marbling. Elnir is the god of the sky and of kingship. He is the ruler of the gods. His dreams are the clouds before storm, says a passing priest. Okay. This seems to be who we're worshipping right now because it's giving the option to renounce his worship. Does that say on my adventure sheet here who I'm worshipping? No. Okay. We also have Alvir and Valmir. The Temple of Alvir and Valmir is built like an upside-down galleon. Alvir and Valmir are brother and sister, king and queen of the land beneath the waves, and masters of the sea. Their servants and soldiers are the souls of the drowned, and when seas are rough and storm-tossed, sailors say that Alvir and Valmir are arguing again. Oh, this also gives us the option to renounce worship, so... Okay, let's see who's last here. Tirnai. The Temple of Tirnai, the god of war, is built in the shape of a spear with a long pillared nave and an altar at the far end. Two massive stone warriors guard its gates. Tirnai is depicted here as the insensate spirit of war, a blood-drenched warrior with the head of a maddened jaguar. I mean, we're a barbarian. It seems to make sense that we would worship Tirnai, right? Let's seek a blessing. If you are an initiate, it costs only 10 shards to purchase Tirnai's blessing. A non-initiate must play 25 shards. The combat blessing works by allowing you to try again when you fail a combat agility check. I mean, we're really good at combat, though. Resurrect. So we have the option to become an initiate, but we're not really a priestly type. You know, Crom, I have never prayed to you before. That kind of thing, you know. Can we make resurrection arrangements? 200 shards if you're an initiate, 800 if not. Oof. So if you die and you have a resurrection arrangement with the temple, you're resurrected at that temple, and then the arrangement is null and void. It's basically your get out of death free card. But as you can tell, it is very expensive. We're going to leave the temple. So how are we on quests here? Let's take a look here. We've solved rat problems. We've got paid out. Quest completed. We have this Book of the Seven Sages. We're not doing that yet. I say we just leave the city and maybe go exploring a little bit. See what we can find. Okay, so we can go to Shadar Tor, which kind of looks like an obelisk. Trefoili, which looks like a ruin. We can go explore the riverbank. Or to Venefax, which looks kind of like a city. Let's go to the riverbank. Explore up the river a little bit. You are following the course of the stinking river, and it certainly does stink, laden with sulfur as it is. Test your luck. Roll a dice. Okay. We rolled a 4. Nothing happens. Thanks, game. Cool. Oh, there's a road tavern. Well, let's go check that out. You join the much-traveled road that connects Trefoil and Karanbaru. The traffic mostly consists of convoys of troops and supplies. Eventually, you come to the Weary Pilgrim Tavern, a way station between cities. The tavern costs 1 shard a day, and that's the recover stamina. So let's spend that 3 shards and buy drinks all around. See what's going on in the world. A trader from the far north tells a story about a great wizard, Targdaz the Magnificent, who was tricked by a shaman of the Horde of the Thousand Winds on the Great Steppes. He imprisoned Tardags inside a giant ruby, and proceeded to loot Tardags' tower. But in his stupidity, he opened the great wizard's casket of imponderables, and unleashed a terrible storm that swept across the steppes, scattering many of the tribes far and wide. The shaman was killed, of course, but as far as anyone knows, Tardags is still trapped in the ruby, waiting patiently for release. Perhaps for another 100 years, who knows. One thing's for certain, it won't be me trying to get him out. So that's like a lead on a quest if we wanted to. It has not given us a quest, but we could travel up here into the steppes. Where are the steppes? Yeah, the Great Steppes up here. And yeah, there's even a place called the Ruby Citadel, but I don't think we're going to think too hard about that yet. Let's go to Trefoil. Let's kind of keep exploring this lower section here. The main road between Marlock City, Trefoil, and Karambaru is well maintained with regular guard posts. The Sakarans are nothing if not efficient. Test your luck. 2. Bad omen, lose 1 blessing. Joke's on you, we don't have any blessings to lose. You continue onwards. The city of Trefoil is a terrifying vision of apocalyptic destruction. It had once been a thriving crossroads town, but now it is a burnt-out hulk. It was almost razed to the ground when it declared for the late king during the recent civil war, and tried to hold out against the army of Grieve Marlock, the current Protector General of Sakara. It was then sacked by the General's mercenaries, and General Morlock is now trying to rebuild it. Craftsmen are hard at work anywhere. Unfortunately, there's nothing here but ashes and rubble. Alright, well, let's keep going. So we could go to Cursed Moor. Oh, that sounds pleasant. Or we could head on into Marlock City. Alright. Let's go poke our head real quick into Marlock City. Marlock City is a huge, sprawling metropolis, enclosed in a fortified wall, said to have been built 1,000 years ago by the ancient Shadar Empire. It is the capital city of Sokara. Morlock City was once known as Sokar, until General Grieve Morlock led the army in bloody revolt against the old king, Corin VII, and had him executed. The general renamed the city after himself. It is now a crime to call it Sokar. The general lives in the old king's palace and calls himself the Protector General of all of Sokara. Whereas the old king was corrupt, the general rules with a fist of iron. Some people like the new regime. Others are royalists, still royal to Nergan, the heir to the throne, who has gone into hiding somewhere. Outside the city gates hang the bodies of many dead people. Labels around their necks read rebels, executed by the state for the good of the people. You'd best behave yourself if you don't want to end up like one of them, grates a guardsman, nodding towards the swinging corpses as you pass through the great eagle-headed gates of Morlock City. Okay. Well, we could explore, trade guild, market, 3 rings. Let's hit the market real quick. We have a couple $100. Not that we can afford any of this. Good God. Oh, look. Oh, there's spell scrolls. Yeah, we can't afford any of this, though. Nice to know it's all here, though. And we're going to check out the tavern. The 3 Rings Tavern is a comfortable inn near the city center. Yeah. You can heal. Cost 3 shards. Buy drinks. An old troubadour tells an epic tale of adventure and romance involving 3 heroes, a princess, and a dragon. Afterwards, you find yourself talking to him at the bar. He tells you about the time he was captured by the man-beasts of Nerech, and that by soothing their savage ferocity with music, he was able to escape. The bard tells you of his lifelong quest to find the greatest story ever told. It is said that the god Sig, in his aspect as the divine bard, passed this knowledge to a mystic called Daemor the Hermit. He lives alone in a lost cave, awaiting a day when he can pass on the story to the one who finds him. I'm too old now to pursue the quest, so I pass it on to you. I believe he can be found in the foothills of the Spine of Harkoon, in the mountains to the north. Alright, so that gave us a quest to learn a kick-ass song. Oh, that's way north. Okay. Yeah, maybe one day. Our charisma and troubadouring is... well, it's not good. It's only 4. So, you know, I wouldn't be getting too excited about that. I think we are going to wrap it up here, my friends. But I'm excited about this start. to Fabled Lands and the start of the quest of Torgrim. We're going to see where he goes. He has a wide world ahead of him, and so far a pair of quests. To kill the Scorpion people and return a book, and to find the ultimate song. One of these things is a bit more in his wheelhouse. We're right on the border of Golnir. So maybe what we'll do is we'll head back east and we'll sort of check out the eastern side of Saqqara before we head into a new continent. Although it sounds like right now Saqqara is a hotbed of potentially dangerous political activity, so we definitely need to be aware of where we step and who we talk to. My friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have yourself a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I'm assuming I'm putting this up on Sunday. If it goes up on Monday or another day instead, I hope your Sunday was good. A couple pieces of housekeeping, as always. Streams on Tuesdays. Videos go up as well on Thursdays and Saturdays, and I assume Sundays now. There'll be another episode of this. And if you ever want to watch any of the old videos, including the live streams, I recommend you go to the Playlists tab on the channel. There we keep detailed records of everything we've played in playlists. Thanks for hanging out, my friends, and we're going to see you on the next adventure. Goodbye.